So far, we have learned about verbs that are considered to be finite. In other words, they are limited to person, number, gender. They are limited to certain aspects or tenses. But there are some verbal forms, participles and infinitives, which are not considered finite because they have fewer limitations within a particular context as to what person, number, gender is or what aspect or tense they are. So today we're going to be talking about participles. And participles are somewhat limited in that they do take gender and number. They are often called verbal adjectives because they have traits of both verbs and adjectives. Participles take endings like nouns, and they can be in construct like nouns. One difference between participles and nouns in the feminine singular is in some stems you can have a segol tav instead of the most usual comets hey. Now, how are the participles used? In English, you can often tell a participle by the ending ing on it. And so in translating participles, this is sometimes the way you will translate them. Participles can be used in a verbal sense. So, sitting upon a throne, as in Isaiah 6:1. The tense in English here is something like a continuous action, something that is ongoing even into the future. Another example here, ascending and descending. Okay, that's a sense of something which is going on not just once, but going forward, kind of constant. The tense of participles is not indicated in the form itself, so that must be inferred from the context. So they can be used as a present tense. An old man is going up. Okay, you see ole going up. Okay, that's something that is happening within the frame of reference of the writer or the speaker. Participles can also be used as referring to something that happened in the past. This is something that will happen within a narrative text. So the Lord was calling to the youth, to the boy. It's something he didn't just do once, it's something he did repeatedly. It can be used in the future, most often in the sense of something that hasn't happened yet, but will happen really soon. Here's an example, what I am about to do, as in Genesis 18:17. Okay, so it hasn't happened yet, but it will happen soon. The participle can be used as an attributive adjective. If you haven't listened to the video on attributive adjectives, you might want to do that first. An attributive adjective and a participle being used in that way happens after the noun, and it agrees in number, gender, and definiteness. You can see here that Aish, the noun, is indefinite, and so the participle is also indefinite. Here, the noun is definite, the participle is definite. In both cases, the participle is placed after the noun. This is, in translation, most of the times we place adjectives in front of the noun. So a consuming fire, the sitting king. Sometimes, however, this can be expressed as a relative clause, the king who sits. Again, it's something that is happening over an extended period of time, not just at one moment. Sometimes the participle can be used as a predicate adjective. Messengers who have come to Jerusalem. Predicate refers to something that is like something like a verb, and in that case you use something like have or is as part of the translation. Like adjectives, the participle can be used as a substantive, in other words, as if it were a noun. And this can happen in both absolute and construct forms. So here we have an example with the participle in absolute, and here one in construct. So here, when judges, or the judges, were judging. This is a different form of the verb which we'll learn later. Or here, the ones entering. Literally, the entering ones of the gate of his city. Common participles that will be used as a substantive are ones like shomer, keeping, one who keeps, or the substantive use in English would be keeper. Ohev, loving, one who loves. Lover or friend is how you might translate that. Boneh, building, one who builds, can be translated as builder. There are also passive participles, and the difference here is that in the active, this verb to write would be somebody wrote something, they are doing the writing. Whereas in passive, something is being written, something is happening that is not of its own volition, but of the volition of someone else. So here we have some examples. A written judgment. Here it's being used as an attributive adjective. The same verb here, it was written. It's predicative using the verb to be. It was written in the letters. And here it's a substantive, according to what is written in the law, in Torah.